It's 9 a.m., battery's at 61%. Most people wouldn't think twice. But for a certain kind of person, that number is already a problem. By lunch, they've charged it twice, not because they needed to, because they couldn't not. If that sounds oddly specific, it's because a lot of you just pictured yourselves. Try this. The next time you're around someone like that, ask them why they just plugged in at 70%. Most of them won't have a real answer. They'll say, just in case, or habit, or laugh and change the subject. That's actually the interesting part. The behavior is automatic enough that the reasoning behind it never even gets consulted. Which usually means the real reason isn't logical, it's emotional. Here's a reframe worth sitting with. A phone at 100% isn't really about battery. It's about not being cut off. Behavioral researchers have a term for this general pattern: loss aversion. People feel the fear of losing something far more intensely than the pleasure of having it. Losing signal, losing contact, losing the ability to be reached. That loss looms larger for some people than it should, statistically speaking. So they overcorrect, constantly, even when nothing is actually at stake. Not everyone has the same relationship to being reachable. A parent waiting on a call from school, someone managing a sick relative, a person whose job runs entirely through their phone. For them, this habit isn't quirky, it's functional. It solves a real problem. The habit only becomes interesting once you notice it in people who don't have any of those pressures and still can't let the number drop. That's when it stops being about circumstance and starts being about wiring. You'd expect this to be an anxious person habit. Sometimes it is. But plenty of people who do this are calm, easygoing, low stress in every other part of their life. For them, it's not fear, it's just optimization. One less variable to think about today. Which means you can't actually tell why someone does this just by watching them do it. The habit looks identical on the outside, no matter what's driving it underneath. Here's something most people never clock about themselves. Notice what you reach for first thing in the morning, before coffee, before checking messages. If it's the charger, that alone tells you something about where safety lives in your mind. For a lot of people, it's not the fridge, or the front door, or the wallet. It's a battery icon. So the next time you catch yourself charging a phone that didn't need it, don't judge it. Just get curious about it. Somewhere under that small, automatic action is a much older question about being reachable, being needed, being able to respond when it matters. Most habits are like that, small on the surface, older than they look underneath. What's the first thing you reach for in the morning? Actually think about it before you answer in the comments.